Hello, this is a quick unboxing video. This time it's for the Fractal Design Define Mini C Micro ATX computer case. This is the tempered glass edition, hence the conspicuous do not drop. There might be some coughing during it. Apologise for that in advance, but I'll try not to. So let's get it open and we'll have a look. Still got to get the hang of my new Leatherman. So we'll open the top up. Ooh, that's sharp. Cut along this edge as well. And that's open like that. And we'll just close that up. Don't need that anymore. There's a view of the top. So what we'll do is do the usual trick, and that's flip the box over like this. Make sure the little cardboard handle bits aren't sticking in, and then lift the top straight off like that. Ooh, black and white. Get the polystyrene off, back in the box. So there's a user manual, which we won't look at just yet. There's the bottom. So already we've got some nice rubber feet, metal silver feet with rubber on them, and there's a filter, dust filter. Not sure how you get that off. I'm guessing it slides. And what we'll do is we'll just stand it up the other way now. Take that off. It's quite tight, but that's fine. And there it is. Oh, nice thumb mark on it. Let's tilt it. So yeah, rather nice. Okay, so what happens with this top bit then? That comes off somehow. Don't know how though. These are thumb screws, are they? Yeah, these are thumb screws, so we'll just carefully undo those. Put them to one side. They're not captive, so you do run the risk of losing them. And it's also not in a little ledge. So when you undo the last one, it might just drop. So actually it is on the slight lip, but it's not as good as the in-wing one was. So I'm going to be a bit careful because I don't want to drop it. So it just dropped then. So it's quite a nice panel. It's got a plastic coating on it. Plastic coating is only on one side. There's some sort of foamy bit on there. So we'll stand that out of the way and put that there. I'm also going to take off the back panel. And these are captive. Oh, that's a bit stiff. Let's get a tool and to have a look. Yeah, those are captive, so quite like captive ones. And there's some sort of rubber insulation on there for the a bit of soundproofing, I think. Oh, there's a little bag of stuff here. Cable management's already done for you with a lot of the supplied cables. There's some Velcro fixie things there and there. That's stuck on, so we'll have to unstick that. Not stuck on by much, so we'll just pull that bit of tape off. Get rid of that. That's it's a dust filter with magnets around it, so I'm guessing when the top panel comes off you can put that on the top. So if you've got top venting going on, there's a screw there. Do that, and that takes a plate off. That's a Ssd mounting plate, because you've got 1, 2, you can put 3 SSDs on it and then sort of fit it back in somehow. How did I get that off? Don't know. Oh, it goes in little holes. That's not apparent. So there's a SSD mounting bracket there. There's some little sticky outy bits there for cable tying. There's a whole bundle of cables here. USB 3, front audio, and the usual reset power and power LED connectors. That's the fan connector, which is just a 3-pin fan. There's, oh, that's rather nice. So a drive tray. There's 2 of those. 2 drive trays. Let's see what we got in the accessories box, which is very helpfully labelled as accessories. Quite a lot of stuff in there. That's just like motherboard screws. They look like fan screws. And a little cloth, little lint cloth. Some cable ties and some power supply screws, larger screws. Lots of little smaller SSD / CD-ROM type screws, but obviously there's no way to put a CD-ROM in this, so it's for SSDs. They've done what InWin do, which is rather nice, and they've included a hex adapter, because you've got your motherboard risers, which are hex bolts, and they've included a Phillips, well, cross screwdriver adapter like InWin do, which is rather handy. So let's have a look around here then. So you got one fan included, which is there. Looks like it's 120 mils. How does this come off? Now it just sort of pops off. Yeah, that's got padding on it. Moduvent, it says on it. So that's the lid. So there's quite a nice big hole at the top there, which you can fit a radiator in if you want to. And then that fits on the top of it. I'll just take it out and we'll have a good look at that. The main problem you get with these is that the magnets come off them. But that appears to be quite well stuck on. So there's the little magnetic mesh discard for the top. Kind of nice. What we got here then? There's another couple of screws here which we'll just undo. It's like a mounting plate for the power supply. Presumably you slide the power supply in there with that on the back of it, because you're not going to get it in otherwise. So that's a little access panel for the power supply. Got to get it in the right place to screw it in. And there's no guides, so it's a bit fiddly, especially when you're bending over trying to do commentary on it. So you're never going to get a power supply in through that hole. So you take that bit of the back off and it slides in that way. And then there's a drive cage there for the larger ones. And then there's these are rubber. On the InWin one, they're solid plastic that you have to snap off. So the fact they're rubber is quite nice, because they form a better sort of seal around it to make it look a bit prettier. And then on this side, there's something there. I don't think that comes out. Maybe it does. I'll see what happens when I push it. I can't get at it because the plate's there. So I guess that doesn't do anything. and you've got a space to add another fan. So you get one with it. Well, you get two with it because you get one at the back as well, and the same type. So with the in-wing you don't get any fans at all. With this one you get two. Apart from that, they're sort of very similar really. That's the phone, which I'm going to ignore. That power supply button is quite nice. Reset button's quite nice as well. Yeah, so altogether it's different to the in-wing. I think the in-wing has the slight edge on it, but you do get the fans included with this one, which you don't get with the other one. So we'll have a look. Anything else that is of interest? A couple of plates at the back so it's a black and white motif. There isn't really anything of interest. Everything pokes through. I wonder if that comes off or not. I don't know how you get at it. I guess you could pop the front off and have a look. Let's just spin it round and look underneath here. See what we can see under here. So there's built-in cable management's kind of nice. That doesn't move. How do you get this off? Oh, that just pulls out from the front. So that's the lower dust filter. And then there's screws on the bottom where the hard drive cage is. So presumably that can obviously come out. And I don't know what you do with that other bit. I'm going to try and have a look. See if there's a screw that you undo. I can't see one. It looks like it's got a latch on it there, so I think that panel there does come out. So if you've got a really long radiator, you can fit a long radiator in, I guess. I don't see how it comes out. It's not as apparent. But that lower drive cage can obviously be used for numerous things. But there's no apparent way to get that panel off. I guess you flip the front panel off and it'll probably just come off, I suppose. I don't know how you get at that, whether that's enough to do it. No. So I don't think it's as nice as the in-wing one. I don't think it's as cleverly designed. It's not as intuitive. So we might have to reach for the user manual. It's a nice looking case. So we'll see what the user manual says about the things I've been finding out. What's that? Attention. That's about warranties. So, it's actually got a manual, which you don't get with the in-wing one. List of included things: motherboard screws, power supply screw, drive screws. Oh, there was a 3.5-inch drive screws, not fans. So I was wrong about that. Remove the side panels, install the power supply, so it takes you through it quite nicely. Prepare the motherboard, install the I/O shield, install the motherboard assembly, put it all in, connect the cables for the I/O, install the graphics card, install the 2.5-inch drives on that plate that I mentioned, and then you've got the drive tray down there. Optional steps, what does that say? Right, optional steps. Replace Modu vent cover with magnetic dust filter. Right, so it just says push them out and put it on. Remove the PSU shroud plate. PSU shroud plate. That's obviously for the fan. So whether you have the fan mounted vertically or we have the fan at the top or the bottom. So you have to take the front, you have to slide the front out. Then there's a couple of screws that you need to undo. Oh, hang on, no. Then the front pops off and there's a couple of screws and that plate comes off. Remove or relocate the bottom drive cage. Oh, that's how you get it out. You have to slide it along and lift it out that hole. And you can actually put bare drives in the bottom if you want to as well. You need the grommets, but I don't see any bag of grommets. So unless they're suggesting that you steal the grommets from something else. Additional info. Possible fan locations. Oh yes, you can have fans just about everywhere. Look at that. So you can put three 120mm fans at the front. Cooling and radiator options. Yeah, you can get a triple rad at the front. So that's kind of nice. Possible water setup. Yeah, that's pretty comprehensive. That's like all-in-ones everywhere. Dust maintenance, graphics card limitations, CPU cooler limitations. That's more to do with the height of it, I think. And specifications of the fan. So you get dynamic X2 GP12. Well, they mean X2 as in times 2 of them. So that's the specs for that. 19.4 decibels. Service and support. So yeah, the manual is actually quite good. And it turns out you need it. And the in-win one is actually much more intuitive than this one, but I think this is they're cases, so you pay money and take your choice really. It's still quite a nice case, don't get me wrong. So yeah, any questions, any comments, stick them in the comments. Like and subscribe, that'd be helpful, and yeah, thanks for watching. So this is a quick follow-on video about the build using the Fractal design case. I said I was going to use it in a build, and I have, and here it is. So all looking quite nice. I'll just shut it down before we do anything. So we're going to look at that mysterious little panel there. The first thing we're going to do is take off the lower dust cover, which just unclips and then pulls out. So that's that dust cover out. Now we're going to look at taking off the front cover. There are little pushy things in there, and you squeeze and push them out, and you can do it on one side, and that gets it undone. And if I spin around to the other side, I can just squeeze the little clips, and we'll just tease it off, and that's it off. So you can see there's these little things here, and that's what you pinch. You can't get at the ones on this side because that's in the way, so you do them down the other side, and then it just comes off. So that's the main front off. Now there's a dust shield here. Clip there, lift straight out. And now I'll just lower the camera down so we get a better view. Now, and while I'm at it, I'll move in a bit closer. Now there are some 2 screws there. So we'll need a screwdriver to get at those. So I'll just get one. There's 2 screws in there, in quite tightly, so you just unscrew them. I slip in a bit with the screwdriver because it's a bit more precision. 2 little screws, one there and one there. That one's in very tightly, but I've just cracked the seal, so there we go. And that comes off like that. And now this lifts up, and it just pops off, and you can see, hopefully, there's a little lip going down there. And that is how you get the drive tray out, because the drive tray is at the bottom, remember? There's cables in the way, so that's how you actually get the drive tray out. And to put it back in, you have to line it up. It's a bit of a faff because it's not. It interferes a bit with that rubber grommet there. And that's it back in. So we'll just get the holes lined up and put the screws back in. So that's not the best design. It's a bit of a faff to do it, but obviously when you're doing the build, you only do that once. So hopefully that will help you get that lined up. It's very stiff. It's not exactly helpful. So I'll just give that a little screw in like that, and that's it done. Then around the other side, you can see you get quite a nice big space now to put all the cables and stuff in there. And that's all I wanted to add, really. So it's not difficult to take it off. You just have to know what you're doing and then be confident that you're doing it right. There's a lot more force than I'd like involved. It's not as slick as the in-wind case, but it still is a rather nice case. So yeah, that's the end of that. Any comments, stick them in the comments. Like and subscribe, that would be great. And thanks for watching.